Welcome back to another episode of the Grappling with Life podcast. While I've got your attention, please head over to the subscribe button and the like button and the notification button if you can, please. And today we have our repeat guest, Dr. Amir Eslami. Thank you very much for coming back.
Thank you for having me today.
He's got the General Zod, the moustache going on.
The son of my jailer!
Who's that?
Remember that scene? The original.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was a scene.
I was talking about the new one. Yeah, you've got that. So I guess this is the first episode after Ramadan. So
can I just interject about Zod? You know, I actually saw him, Terence Stamp.
No way.
In Oxford Circus.
Terence Stamp, is that General Zod?
General Zod from the original Superman. Yeah, very famous British actor. And
he's got white hair now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an old fella now, isn't
he? Google Terence Stamp, bro.
Can I tell you, Mohammed? You know,
oh my god, that's General Zod.
Excuse me. The son of my jailer, bro, in the middle of the street.
Terence Stamp, man. He was in...
brilliant actor. Brilliant method actor, bro. One of the originals.
Yes, that's him. He was General Zod.
General Zod, bro.
I type in General Zod, bro. Bro, straight off the bat.
Yeah,
oh my god, that was him.
He was also really kind of scary.
But what is it with that shiny leather?
That was an 80s thing.
That was mad, bro. Go to the closer one, bro. No, go. There was one.
Look at that. Look.
Not him getting. That was a terror.
And no, it's not about. It's not as deep. The way they had the chest showing.
Bro, one second. Go back up there, bro. Go back to that stranglehold, bro. He's got there. Go back. Yeah, full
is
screen.
Is that a short judo lock?
Yeah, let's see what kind of
what kind of strangle lock he's got. Yeah.
Go straight right in. Let's see his.
So he's.
Oh, come on, bruv.
Okay, so
he's got the arm.
He's got an arm lock.
That's interesting, bruv.
He's got an interesting chicken lock. It's more of a wrestler's move. It's not a choke. It's more of a wrestler's move.
What's that? That's
that'll be an arm lock turn with a head pinch.
So, what about his defense there, bruv? What do you reckon? Well, he should have. Okay, he's got his other arm, innit?
Yeah. It's a little bit tight. But he's look at the way
check his legs out, though, bro.
He's doing a da 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 da.
No, but I want to see. So, what do you reckon he's doing with his right arm, bro?
I think he's gonna cast a spell on him.
1 second, they've got they're the same strength, and they're both.
No. So in this, what happens here? They reverse the strength. Remember? So what it was, Superman wanted to become human.
Yeah.
So he goes into this dumb chamber.
Yeah.
And loses his powers. Maybe get beat up in the cafe. Maybe get rascaled. He got bust up in the cafe. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then what happened was he then wanted to be with Lois Lane, to have a family, blah, blah, blah. Then he realized actually he's got to be Superman again. So he goes gets his powers. And
how does he get his powers? He goes back to
his fortress.
Yeah, fortress.
Then he brings them in, but he tells who's the bad guy in Superman? Oh my God. Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He says, Lex, get him into the chamber because I can take their powers away. He goes, hey guys, he's trying to get your powers. The chamber, if you go in there, you lose your powers. And they go, right, you get in there. Basically, it's reverse the polarity. So they all lose their powers, and he comes
Lex
out.
Gets the powers.
No, Superman keeps his powers, but they lose their powers because they're outside the chamber.
Right.
And so he comes out and he goes and he breaks his hand, lifts him up, and chucks him. And
some dead storyline, bro.
And then he threw that Iranian guy.
What Iranian guy?
He was an Iranian. I'm sure he's Iranian actor.
Is it?
You know the big one. Check out Zod's army, bro, from the original Superman. I swear he looked like an Iranian fella. Either that is Turk, one of the two. Could have been North African. I don't know. Just look at him, bro. Tell me where he comes from.
There was no North Africans in Hollywood, bro.
Remember this is acting, brother.
Oh, yeah. So while he's searching that. Okay,
remember.
Oh, the guy on the right, that guy with the forehead.
Well, yeah. Look, tell me what it looks like, bro.
Go forward.
Come on, bros. He's got that acromegaly look.
He looks like that Mexican, the baddie from
from
Machete or whatever. What's it called?
Danny Trejo.
Yeah. You could pass one of the boys.
That should be like for next No Gi tournament. That should be uniform, bro. That. He looks like someone. I can't put my finger on it, bro.
He's like one of the boys, man, from the club.
Who?
I don't know. He's one of the boys. He prays next to you in Salah. I don't know who it is, but it looks very familiar.
He looks familiar, bro. Anyway,
so yeah, it was a nice little journey through.
Superman. That film was like, I must have watched it like 100. That was like comic book films. You had Superman.
That was it.
and Batman came
Batman
after.
came well off.
Late 80s.
Well, yeah, it was. That was Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
right?
Michael.
And
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that one, bro. I felt like it was a bit.
A comical.
Yeah, it was more. It was very camp.
I liked the Batman Michael Keaton because he had those eyebrows. They're like.
Oh yeah. But he wasn't physically imposing,
Well,
innit?
the reality is the new Batman. Sorry to
Yeah.
go off on a tangent. New Batman actually. Have you seen New Batman?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Did you not see his build?
Yeah, he was.
He looked like a normal, like he'd done a little bit of CrossFit.
He looked ripped though, bro. Not big. Not big.
No. He wasn't even ripped, bro. There's one scene you see his back, put his shirt on, but there's scene he's standing here looking at the floor.
It's
and I was like,
functional though, bro.
It was functional, but the point I'm getting at, okay, look, this is where my issue lies with the new Batman. Brilliant film, by the way. His physique does not replicate or does not reinforce the fact that he can smash 10, 15 people with those punches. So if you look at a boxer, a good boxer, yeah? Look, most boxers, rounded shoulders, good arms, not bodybuilders, but they can pack a punch. You can see they've got that physique. He didn't look like, and he was like throwing underhooks overhand. I didn't see one kick from him. I didn't see one wrestling.
Yeah, bro. Have you seen them boots, bro?
Army boots, man.
So how's he gonna
But
lift?
did you not see though? He was doing parries, overhands, upper. Yeah, at one point he parried and uppercutted the guy, and I was like, those are all boxing maneuvers. I didn't see any grappling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't.
But to be fair, in that suit, it's going to be very difficult to
mobilize
do
that
any
quick.
grappling, bro.
The question is, bro, out of these two, who is the best?
I like Ben Affleck.
I like Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's a
but
more
on that
mature.
storyline, if they had Ben
yeah.
Affleck in that storyline,
No.
I like them.
But can I say, you know, this Bruce Wayne, the Edward Patterson guy? Is that Robert Patterson?
Robert,
Patterson?
yeah.
Edward's from.
Edward. His name was Edward, right?
Edward in
that's-
Twilight, innit?
Yeah. So he actually you know when he puts on that makeup on his face, he actually looks like Darkwing.
Oh, Nightwing.
Nightwing.
Yeah.
Looks like Nightwing. He looks like a really good Nightwing. But he's a young Bruce, and I think it's a good. I have to be honest, they pulled it off brilliantly.
But what about?
It was more about the story, less about the mythology of Batman. And
Yeah,
all
but
that
what
stuff.
about
detective.
between Ben Affleck and Christian Bale?
Bale. I think I'll go for Bale.
Bale because of the story, innit?
Yeah. Bale done a good job.
But I like Ben Affleck Batman's build and his.
I think he was the older Batman. That's
He was more of the tall, strong. Only thing is, I didn't like when they made him a little bit weak in front around Superman. I didn't like that.
What do you mean?
You know, like, oh, you missed me. You like, you know, there was some like dodge.
That was the Justice League they did where Batman was like,
a little bit.
bit scared, kind of thing.
nah, he was a bit like weird, bruv.
He was a bit shook when he came out of the grave and all that. That scene.
And he said, hey, good Alfred, get the big guns. And he just
Yeah.
like Lois Lane comes out. I was like, okay.
That was a bit weird,
A
bro.
little bit too much.
But because Batman's all about planning ahead, isn't it? So he would have had some sort of kryptonite bullet or something like that.
But that's why I liked this new Batman because, bro, the detective skills were
Yeah,
amazing.
it was more about the storyline, isn't it? It was more of like a.
And the Riddler. Do you see her at the end? Can I spoil it in for
No,
you?
don't
No,
spoil
do
it.
that.
Okay, love that.
You're a Superman guy though, bro.
Yeah,
Do you reckon
yeah.
our viewers watch Batman, bro?
I think they should.
But they have to, bro.
Why did they have to?
15 and above, at least, should watch it.
But you're a Superman guy though, innit? More of a Superman guy.
I'm more of a Superman guy, yeah. Superman and Hulk.
I hate
Kind of.
Superman, bro.
I can't
He's such
stand
a goody
Superman,
two
bro.
shoes, bro.
What do you
Yeah.
like about Superman, bro?
But you know, he did become dark once. Remember that?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but I'm talking about Superman as an idea.
yeah, like I'm.
I just, you know
I
what-
wish
you know
you
what
could blend the two. So like Superman's farm upbringing,
But Batman's like.
because if you took Batman, for example,
But isn't Batman the nice version? Well, not nice version of the Punisher's another type of Batman, right? So Punisher's
not
your
really, bro, 'cause
Punisher's
he's
your
not rich,
Marvel. I know, but Punisher's your Marvel version of Batman, right? Vigilante kind of.
no, but kind of, yeah, because he doesn't have any superpowers,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah. But I look at Batman and I think, yeah, that guy wants to, you know.
No, I think the reason why people identify with Batman is because he doesn't have any superpowers.
Yeah, but he can deal with he can deal with superpowered people.
But I think also that his superpower is being rich.
But to be honest, yeah,
Someone
but I
who's
think-
broke
that's a
yeah,
good
ain't got that time.
That's a good superpower to
That's
have, bro.
better than
What-
having.
what can I tell
Would
you
you rather?
about-
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question.
Go on.
Would you rather be a billionaire
A superfly,
or have superhuman abilities?
superhuman abilities.
Why?
Because he's gonna rob a bank. Don't come up with them.
I wouldn't.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Go on.
Because I'd like to fly, like literally fly around and zoom around.
Yeah, but you've got nothing in your bank account. You're broke.
I will go and locum in A&E then. I'll do a super locum.
Can you bring the mic down just a little bit? It's covering your mouth. Yeah,
I'll do a super locum. I'll do like they say Superman's really Asian. He's got 2 jobs, cheap flights.
Yeah.
But you can buy your own plane, bro.
Do you think he thinks as quick? You know, because he's got super speed, yeah? But does he think as quick? So if you're in this hospital, yeah, and you've got 5 patients.
But it's not the thinking. I can work between them so fast that you haven't seen me move.
Yeah, but like, can you
you're not Flash,
did you hear
bro,
what I'm saying to you?
But
But you've been interrupting me.
No, he's not
When
Flash.
I'm chatting, don't interrupt me.
He's mixing up the superheroes now, bro.
But you have to be careful because there's a multiverse where Superman's actually faster than Flash. Have you seen this one?
Now you're going down a black hole, bro.
Yeah.
But
This is a destructive conversation.
no, but anyway, which leads me nicely onto kind of today's topic, yeah.
Okay.
Which is I want to talk about this word has become a bit of the word of masculinity, yeah. And our understanding of it. Because I think 30 years ago, masculinity is a spectrum, innit? It's not like there's not one archetype of what masculinity is, yeah? Like you can't say, right, that guy, that's that is what masculinity is. And I think, but right now, like that whole language has become like, I feel like if you talk about, if you're a man who is masculine, yeah, in a traditional sense, it's almost like you are a tyrant. Like you're painted like you are, what's the word? Like for example, like Donald Trump, for example.
You're a criminal. Yeah.
Like you're an oppressor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I brought Donald Trump up. But more so like
I think it's synonymous
that you oppress
when
women.
you think of masculine, you think of an oppressor. You think of oppressor, you think of like someone like Trump who done all those ridiculous things.
I think Trump was so he had that scandal, that like the Me Too things about all that stuff.
I'll do what I want, all that kind of. And I think the danger is you're mixing up literally apples and pears. You're saying that being masculine is synonymous to being an oppressor. No, it's not. It's totally different. There's no. You might mix them up because you think people who are masculine are like that, but that's what is in essence our understanding of masculinity, meaning what do we understand from that term. And I think, like you said, it's a spectrum, but there's all these ticks, these criteria, like, you know, being upright, being just, being strong, being kind, being merciful, being compassionate, being a leader, being a friend. There's so many things. When I think of masculine, that's what I think of. I don't think of some tough guy. Think of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful narration of the Blessed Prophet, peace and blessings upon him. So something that he said, when he saw some of the companions wrestling, he asks, what are they doing? And he goes, oh, you know, they just said, you know, we'll see who is stronger, who controls the other one. And it was nearly like they were shy to say it, but they didn't want to think, you know. And he said, you know, actually, the strong one amongst you is not the one that can wrestle another man to the ground. It's the one who can control himself in a fit of rage.
Yeah.
So isn't that quite interesting? So you think of masculine as grabbing and slamming and pinning, but actually what's more masculine? What's more of the stronger?
Just to
withhold that part of you that is synonymous to masculinity, being tough, being, you know, not tough, being rough, being, you know, aggressive. No, that's not masculine. That's actually, that's, if anything, that's anti-masculine in our understanding. Or look at the saying of Sayyidina Imam Ali radiallahu anhu. What did he say? He said, one moment's coolness in a time of rage will prevent 1,000 moments of regret. So 1 moment's coolness in a time of rage will prevent 1,000 moments of regret. Another saying of his, radiallahu anhu, when he said, be like the flower that when it's crushed in the hand of the enemy, it leaves behind a beautiful scent. I mean,
say that again, sorry.
So he said, be like the flower that when it's crushed in the hand of the enemy, leaves behind a beautiful scent. So everything that we understand by what is masculine is actually, it's very much about being human and having humility and being so many things that come to mind. But the reality is, it's not what they think it is, and that's the problem.
Who's they?
I think I think those people who propagate that masculinity is something dangerous, something terrible, something toxic, when actually they understand it the way they might understand, I don't know, Okay, a good one. What does it mean to be Muslim? Most people, because of what they've understood by a small handful of people who don't propagate the Islamic tradition prophetically, as terrorism, you're terrorists. Why did that happen? Well, we've got 1 billion Muslims on earth. They're not all terrorists, God forbid. The point is, it's because you understand that from a broken, misunderstood perspective that has got very little base to it, and as a consequence, you think everyone's the same. Okay, all of a sudden, every white person is a neo-Nazi or whatever. KK. The point is, it's their understanding of the word masculine is as a consequence of their association with masculinity, meaning they've been around people who have termed in quotation marks being masculine and beating their mothers, getting drunk, beating their sisters, beating up on people around them, having no respect, being horrible to their neighbors. So that's the synonymization of masculinity around them. So when they see someone who is being masculine, they think, oh, that's like that person who was horrible, who was aggressive, he used to beat my mom. I have friends and family in and around parts of Eastern European areas that they'll tell you about, the certain drinking cultures there, and in any nation of drinking culture where they become aggressive and beat up on people around them. And as a consequence, it's that thought that if you're masculine, you're rough, you're aggressive, you're hostile. No, those are all of the qualities that actually indicate that you're very weak, you're a bully, you have no justice, you have no compassion, no mercy. As a consequence, our understanding of masculine, that you're against that. You're the antithesis of what is it to be masculine. Yeah?
Yeah, so I was there. So to kind of pick up on what you just said, yeah, like for what I've seen patterns, yeah. So sometimes,
and can I interject something?
Yeah, go on.
I'm sorry. And as a consequence, when you do that, you hit nail on the head. You're nearly scared to propagate behaviors that might lead to think, are you masculine? Like, do I have to fear being masculine now? So you can talk about gentrification if you want, in terms of the society we live in, but it's nearly like, is that what are you telling me? What are you telling me to do now? What do you want me to do now? And it's like, so my understanding of masculinity is all of those concepts we spoke about: upright, just, strong, a leader, a carer, a lover, a compassionate, merciful. As one person said, everyone can come to you and feel confident and safe around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want me to be that. What do you want me to be then?
I think what I was trying to say is that when a man,
I was going to sing a song. When a man loves a woman. Sorry.
When a man displays feminine. How am I going to put this? When a man displays, it's for example, if a man changes their child's nappy, for example, yeah, or the man stays at home to look after his kids, yeah, that is more commended sometimes than when a man goes out and works and provides for his family. It's looked at like, it's almost like a lion getting their teeth taken out. And I'm not trying to say if a man changes, for example, the kid's nappy or becomes more nurturing. Yeah, it's not. We've all done that, brother. Yeah, but I'm saying we as men, we have to have that nurturing side of it, but that's not our primary function. Does that make sense? If you look at traditional families, that's not a primary function of the husband, right? To be at home with the children. Yeah. If you look at historically and even now, traditional families, yeah,
agreed.
But when a man does do that, it's kind of like you're looked at as, it's not looked up at the same light as someone who goes out to work and provides for his family and he's a protector of his family and all this type of stuff. So, almost like, even maybe there's some people listening to this podcast and saying, bro, you're so backwards. How can you still be thinking that women should stay at home and men should go out and work or whatever? Now that is looked at as something that's completely alien. And if you have this ideology, like, I'll give you an example. A woman has, like, in this society, in this, there's no reason why a woman cannot work, right? There's nothing stopping them working, right? But as a man, for example, if there's a lot of young men in the gym now who are married, they're looking to get married, right? And that's not a characteristic that a man is looking for in a woman. Does that make sense? Like when you're looking to get married, do you go and think to yourself,
she has to have the most money, the biggest car?
yeah, that's not in, no, but does she work? That's not something that for a man, like, I don't care who you are, like they obviously there's a minority, but most men, they're looking for a woman. I say most men, but maybe it's changing now. I don't know, who knows? But I know when I was getting married, I wanted a wife that was going to be a mother, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get married.
Yeah.
I never thought to myself, we're going to have a joint income and like she goes to work, and then my thing was, my responsibility was to go out and provide for my family. That was my main primary responsibility.
I think
Does that make sense?
I think the point of that is when it is your, so you have an objective.
Yeah.
I want to support and be there as that founder in that respect. And I think the issue is when you start manipulating those roles, and I mean manipulating, meaning women can definitely, we know that the Rasulullah's wife, Khadija, and she was his boss.
Yeah.
Right? She was his employer and he would go do transactions for her. And obviously, they got married and she was one of the best women to walk this earth. But she was like the CEO of a big company. So we know that, right? And she was older than him, Allahumma barik, so we know that. But it's when you're manipulating the role in such a way that you basically want to dissuade characteristics that are really beneficial, intrinsic to certain people, like if you say men having a certain role, and for mothers, right? Women having a certain role. Now, what we're trying to say is, we're not saying you can't do certain things. Of course you can.
No, I'm saying.
What we're trying to say is, but don't manipulate it to make it seem like
that's the only way.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I say I would like to work, I shouldn't be told, hey, are you masculine? That's not good. Or hey,
are you masculine?
Are
you being toxic? Like,
are you being toxic? Or for the woman, hey, you shouldn't be.
No, but you know what? I'm gonna be blatant. I was thinking about this topic today, yeah, and I was thinking, you know what? I don't want to dance around terminology.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dance around it. Yeah. You can't tell me, like, I have my opinion about how I live my own life. Same way as there are different people how they run their own lives.
Yeah. Sure.
My personal opinion is, as a man, when I got married, I was looking for a woman that was gonna build a family together with me. The word family, bro, was very, very important to me. Having children, and raising those children, and that's what it was about. It wasn't about, like, my thing was, I was never thinking to myself, I'm going to get married, we're going to travel, or we're going to live this Dubai lifestyle, bruv, and blah, blah, blah. For me, that wasn't, I'm not saying that is, if you want to do that, is wrong, But that was. But then don't get married to someone like that. And then when you get married, and then you're like, hold on, I want you to be, bruv, it doesn't work like that, bruv.
No,
like you can't. How many times have we had this conversation with brothers that got married to women who in the beginning, bruv, they're working, they've got a career, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's their life choice. You've met. I don't have to agree with it, bruv.
Yeah.
But that's your life choice.
But now you took that person on.
You accepted it.
Don't complain now.
Now you've got children with that person. Yeah. Now, who's going to raise those children, bro?
Yeah.
There has to be a primary, like you both raise those children, of course.
I'll give you a good point, right? I don't know if it's.
But let me finish this because it's going to get taken out of context. What I'm saying, So let me finish this thought quickly, So those kids, so you've and all of a sudden now, because you've got children, there's this primordial thing inside you that you need. The woman in your head, you want your wife to look after those kids and you go out to work, right? That doesn't play now, bro.
No.
Because you went out and looked for a specific thing.
Yeah.
And it's not fair on the woman now to kind of flip the whole script on them, bro.
Yeah. Because then you're gonna get disparity and discord.
This is it. And also, just on the flip side is, I'm not talking about specifically about the Muslim community, right? Because if you look at all the communities, we're the most traditional, if you think about it.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
And
was the most traditional.
And it's changing now. It's changing. I see young brothers, bro. They've had a few matches and they've spoken to them, bro. They're like, whoa, man, like. Do you see what I'm saying?
Panic for our kids.
Yeah, I panic for my own shit because I think to myself, okay, happiness. If you're gonna be with someone, there needs to be synergy in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now this is a whole bunch of kids are being brought up with a specific way that's not working, but it's not working for them. Like for example, if you look at the highest divorce rates in Europe, I think I can't remember what the statistic, but the divorce rates are really high. Now that's creeping into the Muslim community now. We used to be one of the most stable communities when it comes to marriage. So the sanctity of marriage has been, it's not looked at as, so I feel like if you're a man if you're in your 20s or your early 30s, and you're looking to get married, you're gonna find it's gonna be very difficult for you to find a spouse as a man that's gonna fulfill, if you have a traditional way of thinking, it's gonna fulfill those roles, bro.
But this is the point, right? So this one said the traditional way of thinking is being marred as a toxic way of thinking, and it shouldn't be like that. And if you think like that, there's a problem. So now they're starting to go into the world of, you're a fundamentalist. You're having traditional thoughts. Like, when is it going to end? Like, do you want me to literally deny my understanding?
But that's a lifestyle choice, man.
But
you know what I'm saying? The same way everyone else has got different lifestyle choices.
So why are you pressuring this cohort now? And there's a greater agenda, but the point I'm getting at is, okay, let's go back to the point you made about women and being the center of the household, okay? And being the propagator and actually having authority over the men in that. So when I was at med school in my second year, we were talking about relief work and the UN. Now, I don't know if it stands true now. I've done refugee work, but it was with non-governmental organizations, so like healthcare workers that went out together. But this particular doctor was from the UN, or she a nurse, one of the two. So she came out to us and she said, "Who do you think we go to speak to about implementing change in and around a refugee zone?" And we were stuck, but we didn't know what to say. She goes, "It's the women." And we're like, "Oh." She goes, and listen, these are her words, right? And I don't think you can actually say this now. She goes, "Women as the head of the household, in terms of changing what happens inside the household."
So what do you mean by like a health and
immunizations, health schedules, lifestyle, feeding, dietary? Because it's the woman that says to the husband, "Hey, we're going to do all of these things. You go out and get all that stuff for us. We're going to do it this way." He goes, "Okay, whatever you say." They rule the roost. Right? Behind every great man is a great woman, or the 5-0.
You'd be stoned for that, bro.
I know. I was going to say
stoned for that.
I was going to say the 5-0. No, that great man is the 5-0. It's the police. But no. As in to say, when you look, I'll give you an example. When you look at, for us anyway, in our culture, in our tradition, there's this, it's a powerful situation when you see some great people in time actually not being spoken about and have done great things, and are women. If you look at obviously even our own blessed mother, and she was one of the most ones who relayed most of that hadith of the Rasul. What
about our own mothers, bro?
Our own mothers,
honestly, like mother. But have you noticed how motherhood is looked down upon, bro? Like if there's plenty of women out there who are happy to get married and raise a family, that their job is motherhood. They want to raise their children, bro. And but if you're a woman and that's something that you want to do, you're going to get looked down upon.
That's what I'm saying. Why is it? This is okay now. Okay. So,
for example, can I ask you a question? Sorry to.
Please.
The Arabic terminology for a woman, who basically a mother, is Rabbatul Bayt, which is like Lord. I don't know what the female version of Lord is. Of the house.
Duchess.
Like a queen of the house, or whatever it is.
Lady
of the house. That's it. So thank you. Lady of the house. But in English, it's housewife. So there's a different kind of, I know.
There's a different feeling to the term.
Yes, yes.
It drives
So
a different emotion.
Exactly. So if I'll give you an example, you know, Jane Austen novels.
Yeah.
So if you look at the society at that time, they would have like the very rich aristocratic families. If a man wanted to get married, first thing is you'd look at the status of the woman. Yeah, and I'm not saying that's correct. I'm just giving like historical fact. So, do they come from a good family?
Good lineage.
Good lineage. Can she read? Can she write? All these things. Yeah, and then they would arrange. Basically, they would arrange these functions. Like you see them like these balls. Yeah. And then they would go and meet. And then if they want to court, they'd have to have a chaperone with them, bro.
Yeah.
And this is my missus because she reads these novels,
Yeah.
I'm like, so what happens is, bro, don't interrupt me again, bro.
Nah,
I'll get up
read
there.
them, bro.
Wallahi, I don't read them, bro. But
You have to say wallahi, that's how you
I tell you why, because I don't.
His finger bent like that would have done it.
Wallahi, bro. But she was telling me that basically they'd have a chaperone. Now, if a man, this is in England, if a man was seen with a woman without a chaperone, that's a grave shame, and the dad or the brother they'd have to duel after that, bruv.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Like I'm taking shooting guns, you know, like when they
paces,
they're 10 paces and shoot each other, bruv. That's what would have to happen because that's the only way for the woman to get her honor back. Yeah. Now at that point, the woman was the property of her father and the men in her family. They weren't allowed to own property. There's a lot of things. Wow. So if you look at I'm not a political scientist, but if you look at the feminist movement, that was to fight against that, But Muslim women had the rights to do all these things already.
Yeah, already, 100%.
Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, if you look at, and I think a lot of the colonialization brought in this kind of backwards mentality as well, bruv.
That women had no rights.
Because there's a lot of traditions that were left because they were taken on by the and obviously there were a lot of un-Islamic things in our countries that were taken from pre-Islamic jahiliyyah, basically ignorance, which gets conflated with Islam sometimes. But I've come up with a point I was trying to make
about motherhood.
Exactly. So look, the same way, if you're a woman and you want to go and work, and you want a career, that's fine.
You're supported. There's no problem. Absolutely.
There's absolutely no problem. Absolutely. But this is a caveat, Don't expect a man who doesn't want that to want that.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, how comes I can't get married? No one wants to marry me, or like I can't find someone on the same pay grade as me, bruv. Or I can't find some. Because a man's like men, and whether you like it or not, when we want to get married, no one's going to, brother, I wonder if she works, bro. She needs to have a good job. That's not in the back of our heads. Whereas for a woman, that's something very primary, like, because, do you see what I'm saying?
I think it's thousands and thousands and thousands of years of tradition actually rolling through the genetic stream. It's very hard to uncuff that from...
There are some, bro, I've seen some craziness online, bro. Stay-at-home dads, for example.
Yeah.
Like the woman goes out to work and the father stays at home and looks after the children. That's highly irregular, bro.
I agree.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's irregular, bro.
I think the thing,
and there are some moments that
it's not that it's wrong, but I tell you what it is. It's you're championing certain things, which is fine. You want to stay home, okay, fine. You want to do that, but then don't make those who are doing otherwise feel inappropriate. And feel like they're doing something.
Or the woman that decides to stay at home. But how comes the man that decides to stay at home is praised?
Yeah, it's championed. But
but a woman who decides to look after her children,
you're traditional,
you have
fundamental. You're being oppressed. There's something wrong.
Or you don't have ambition. Or
so, an interesting point, right? And this is not a general. So this is just me as a physician, okay? And I've seen this myself firsthand. So obviously, women who obviously want to go into a career and look to develop themselves, which is, I'm very for that. Because I think, when I say for that, I mean within reason, as in protecting their themselves and being upright and being careful, being, you know, being reserved in their behavior and the like thereof, but at the same time being to develop themselves as human beings and growing and developing, you know, having medics.
Yeah, we're not bashing women that want to work. That's not it.
I would love to see everyone develop, you know, to their ultimate potential, no matter what it is, but obviously within reason. Yeah, meaning without having to harm yourself or do something that's unnatural to your traditional state or whatever it is that you want to be right now.
But also, Amir, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
There's this hyper masculine women out there now. This not women, sorry. This culture. I'm a boss and I've got my own. You know that kind of like aggressive.
I was going to come to this. Okay, so I've seen in the 2 decades of being a GP, which I was doing, where patients would come, and these are women who have done an amazing job, and to be fair, they're not hyper. They're actually quite sincere, hardworking, and they've developed themselves. They've got to a level where, they are the boss, they are the CEO, and they do brilliant work. But then, because of the career that they took, it took a toll on them finding the right spouse, be it in marriage or wedlock or as just a normal partner, and as a consequence, we're looking to have a family in the late 3rd or early 4th decade, but not realizing that the physiology, their basic...
It's tough.
No, it's not tough. There was a lack or complete cessation of ovarian function.
So can you say that in English, bro?
So basically,
they couldn't have children.
They basically couldn't.
They find it difficult to have children.
No, they were actually struggling to have children, bless them. And the point is, so the career pathway, if it could be,
there's a sacrifice that has
there's
to be
a sacrifice,
made.
right?
That's what it is.
But why does it have to be a sacrifice? Why can't you be a person who says, I want to have a family, but I want to also be, because we had this at university.
Bro,
I had this at med school.
There's family members that who of my wife's family members who they're a doctor. The wife is a doctor and the husband's a dentist. And they're bringing up a family. They've got 6 kids, bro.
I'm trying to say, to you. Why is that not supported? Why did she have to do 30 years, 20 of just say, listen, you can still become CEO.
Like in the workplace.
Let's support you. You can have kids in your 20s and your 30s, late 20s and your 30s, but we're going to support you through this. Why did you have to go through that? That's what hurts, bro.
Yeah.
That's what hurts me. I look at it and I feel sad because I know that once they're told there's a particular hormone that you look for, if that hormone is really, really high, that means your reserve or your ovarian reserve is basically nothing.
Yeah.
And you're literally, by the way, do you know there's only a certain number of ovaries that you have in your lifetime?
Yeah.
Unlike men who can produce sperm productivity up until until death, really, because they've got unless they become
even after death, innit? No, seriously, bro.
If you can acquire,
I'm taking
the Sartori cells and take the sperm.
There was a story I heard about that. Someone,
I'd be quite,
they took his sperm after he died, bro. But I don't know how. I'm sure there's a certain amount of hours. Before they die. How long can sperm live outside the body?
I haven't.
So this is stupid. I don't want to ask this question, bro. Anyway, carry on, bro. Carry on.
I don't think very long. So the point I'm getting at is, why weren't they supported? It was nearly like, right, you can't be a mother.
You have to choose.
Yes. Yeah. But you shouldn't. It should have been augmented. Says, right, you can be a mother and you can be a CEO and you could be that.
But I mean, that's not my.
No, what I'm trying to say to you, the reason I bring it up is because
I understand what you're saying, but my thing is not that you must choose either be a mother or working. My thing is the mentality of I have to, like, if I'm going into as a man, this is from the male perspective. We can't speak for women.
Yeah, of course.
Although we're married, and we have women, we can only speak about our own experiences. I'm just talking about as a man. If there's any women watching, most men, when they get married, what's the mentality? What are we thinking?
Well, the question you should ask
is,
no, but the question you should ask is, what would the woman like him to think?
What do you mean?
So, as a woman who wants to enter, well, look, to be fair, entering the realm of marital relations, you have certain problems. Now, you have certain groups that don't even ever want to get married. Then you've got certain groups that get married and don't know why they're getting married. And you have another group that have these kind of utopian blue sky thinking ideas about marriage that are not real. The point you have to ask the general population of women, say, if you were to entertain marriage, what would you like your spouse to be thinking about you? And that's really important, because that will then define what they're looking for. So you need to ask yourself, I would like him to think that I'm going to be a mother, or I'm going to be the one who earns the money, or whatever it is. Then you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. You're right. You kind of like refer my point. My point is, as a man, if there's women listening who are looking to get married, for example, and they're thinking, I want to, like, we're just trying to give them a little window into the male, mentality, right? I don't know what these young brothers are like, but most men, when they want to get married, it's about that time of their life where they want to settle down and have children. Really.
Because what does
why else would you get married?
Let's reel it in. Exactly. Why are you getting married?
This is it.
Because technically, let's just put it out there, okay? If it's for having relations, regardless of faith or no faith, that's something you can do outside of marriage. If it's for having companionship, you can do it outside of marriage. If it's for, I don't know, having a partnership because you want to have a shared income, that you can get that in a business from anyone. So what is the reason why you're getting married? Why?
Yeah.
And if you can answer the why, then everything else would make sense.
Well, I know for most men, I can't speak for every man. I know myself, and probably when you decide to get married, is to have children, bro.
Yeah.
Really and truly, to build a family with.
Yeah, absolutely. My intention of getting married.
That might not be for everyone, but I'm saying that is the.
But can I say to you, I've been looking to get married since I was 16.
Well, there you go. And also for us,
you know, it was really, I had this feeling of, I just want to be with someone. I want to care for them and love them and take care of them and be there for them. And nearly, it sounds so nostalgic, like a knight in shining armor.
Chill out, bro, man.
I'm so sorry. I have to romance the stone. Yes. No, what I'm trying to say to you is that kind of level of chivalry and honor and integrity that I wanted to display, literally, with someone that I cared about and I loved. And I think that in totality, what is that? It's a family, and building that family and having the children look at you and say, I want to replicate what my father does and replicate what my mother does. Because, why do you get dysfunction? What's one of the 101 things that you talk about when it comes to mental ailments and mental debilitating diseases? You go back to their past history where they're having, like, one of the things you look for when it comes to schizophrenia is marital discord and disparity. Sometimes certain qualities in a mother that overpowers the father, and certain things that the father might have done to the mother. Can you imagine all of that will impact someone's psyche to the point where they might develop schizophrenia later on? And that's quite powerful. You can destroy people. You can destroy cultures and so you can destroy nations by just causing marital discord.
So I was exactly. So I wanted.
So that's the point I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why are you getting married?
Because, bro,
then it'll protect you from getting divorced.
Most of our listeners, I would say about 99%, right, are male. Of either they're just about to get married or have families, yeah? So the audience that we're speaking to right now, there might be obviously some females listening, yeah?
Our wives.
That's probably, keeping an eye on us, bro, that we're behaving ourselves. But
what did he say about me?
But
I'm gonna call her up and tell her.
So basically, this is to them. This is what this conversation and this is to them, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really and truly. So I'm saying, if you're a man, this is if you're a man looking to get married, yeah. Like, I don't know about you. I do know about you. Sure. We never had any relationships before our marriages. We kept ourselves chaste, because we're Muslim and we don't believe in premarital relations. We kept ourselves chaste, and we looked for women that were chaste just because that is what our religion. And I'm telling you, in college, because we went to a boys' school. In college, we were aliens, bro.
When
I remember, like we were running away from women, bro. Like we had to keep ourselves, and they found that alien, bro.
I was actually told in my second year of A level. Don't forget, I had very long hair then, more slim, more ripped, not much facial hair, and I was wrestling quite.
Yeah, bro, stop gassing yourself up, bro.
I have to, bro.
Come on, bro.
I feel so old now. And I remember one of the girls said to me, "Why don't you come out with us?" And I said, "No, I can't do that." And she goes, it's really funny. Are you? And back in the day, they used to use that term, "Are you a closet gay?" And I was like, "Excuse me? What do you mean by that?" I said, you like wrestling and you don't want to go, you haven't got a girlfriend. I said, "I don't understand." I said, "Can I just break it down for you? You want me to go out with you? I'm going to ask you a question." I remember asking, I was 18, I said to her, "If I were to propose to you to be your husband and marry me, what would you say?" She goes, "You're crazy." I went, "That's interesting. I'm crazy because I want to entertain a relationship with you that's going to give you authority, give you substance, and show that I'm being loyal to you and giving you loyalty. You're calling me crazy. However, you're offering me yourself without any condition, without any strings attached. Literally, that's absolving me of any responsibility for you."
But
so
also,
who's the crazy one? And she was like, "You know what? And she walked off, and I was like, "That's what I'm talking." And I had that conversation in medical school with another girl who said the same thing. Who said, "I think so," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna." And I said, "Why don't you just want to marry me?" And that was an alien statement.
But also, there's a sense of like,
I wouldn't have married anyway, but
of course not. But I'm saying it was. But what I was trying to say is, what that's a sense of, that's power right there, bro.
No.
Think about it. Yeah, as a man, you have that much control over yourself, over your desires, that you're keeping yourself away from premarital sex. Yeah.
And can I just say,
that's why, and there's the hadith of if a young person keeps themselves chaste and passes away, that's like they get the highest rank in Jannah, bro. It's almost like a shaheed, bro. Yeah. And, bro, you think about, like sometimes when I look at like my own children, and bro, the desires that we have.
Well, can I say that the entertaining of those desires are
it's a weakness, though.
No, they're miserably
over
like 10 billion times what we went through. We had no access to anything.
Instagram,
I'll give you an example,
Facebook.
right? If you wanted to entertain anything like pornography or like thereof when we were growing up, you would have to go to the shop and go to that top. Right, for someone to go up there, do that, and then take it to and the guy goes,
there's that shame,
that shame, right? And you'd never be up. So the point I'm getting at.
But I remember being a kid, walking into the shop and making sure I don't look at that shelf, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you, Habibi.
Because it's in your periphery, you're walking.
But the point is, look, that's being taken from the kids or anyone this today. You have access at any point, any time to anything that will fulfill your desires.
But there's no value to. I'll give you an example. A young man who keeps himself chaste. There's no value to it, bro.
No, it's no value to it.
Actually, you look like as a nerd, bro.
Yeah. They made a film about the 40-something virgin.
Yeah.
Remember that?
But you looked at as a nerd, like someone who's like a.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and the same thing with women now as well.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like there's a sense of power of a man who
or a woman,
but 100%, bro, who can control themselves.
To say I'm not doing that.
Nah, bro.
So I
choose.
I
don't follow my desires, bro.
A funny story, yeah? A really funny story. I was working as a GP in East London, and obviously, what you said about our upbringing, who we are. Look, if people have had relations, be it and marriage, outside marriage, we're not speaking ill of what they do. What we're saying is, if someone has maintained that, bless you. If you haven't, it's okay. People do stuff, right? But anyway, this one girl I was consulting, she had pelvic pain and just going through the basic history. And I said,
"Are we gonna have to cut this out, bro?"
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna get to it. Okay. Not very, very well spoken English, like probably maybe 20 something. taking a history, and I said, okay, obviously, are you sexually active? And she went, no. I went, okay, fine. Are you pregnant? She goes, no. So first I said, are you pregnant? And obviously you have to talk about the pregnancy question. She goes, no. I went, okay. Are you sexually active? She goes, no, never. And I went, okay, so when's the last time we had relations? She goes, no, didn't you hear me? I'm a virgin. And I went, oh. And I just stopped. I was like nearly flabbergasted. Why? Because that's a value that I hold very important to me, right?
Yeah.
And I obviously, again, apologies.
You're a Muslim girl.
No, that's what I'm saying. She was an English girl. Very, very well-mannered.
Well, how old was she? Roughly?
Probably 24, 25. And I was just looking and I was like, oh, okay. And she could see I was in shock. And she goes, what's the problem? I said, oh, that's just a value that I haven't seen much in today's society. And I said, I'm really proud of it. And I said, I'm really proud of you. And she said, oh, thank you so much. And she goes, oh, because it's part of our tradition. I think they were
Jehovah's Witness or something.
Seventh-day Adventist Jehovah's Witness. And she goes, no, we have to wait for marriage. And I said, that's such a beautiful thing. And I said, look, people who do or don't do, it's not. I just think for me, it was something quite beautiful to see. That's me personally.
Yeah.
Someone else might say, yeah, okay, whatever, that's fine. But I was like, wow,
no, but
someone's gone 2.5 decades who has all of the access and feasibility and can do anything they want, and they didn't. And I'm. But really I
feel like as well.
And I think you made a good point. The power, not even power.
It is power, bro.
No, it's not power. As in self-control. That you can say, I'm not doing this, even though my desires want it.
I'll give you an example. I was watching this period drama. Yeah, it's based in the England. It's called The Last Kingdom. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking about it's about Anglo-Saxons and Vikings in the UK. But it's really cool. It's based around history. Yeah. But what really struck me about that is I give you someone who's incorruptible. Yeah. So for example, as a person, if you have, and this is the next bit I want to talk about, the whole thing about masculinity and all this stuff. Yeah. If I say to you, if I give you my word on something. Yeah. And this is something that we'll talk about this quite often, yeah? That bond that we have, that I'm your friend, there's certain things that I shouldn't do. Number one, I shouldn't lie to you, yeah? I shouldn't do anything like, what's the word? Betray your trust.
Yeah.
There's certain things that we should expect from each other.
I shouldn't come in your house and make trouble.
Yeah, whatever it is, exactly, whatever it is. There are certain things that as a man, that if you cross these lines, there's no coming back, bro.
Yeah, agreed.
And as a man, you should expect that from other men, bro.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So
you've lost these values now.
But think of it like this, yeah? So if you're not think about how dangerous you would be or how powerful you would be if you're not corrupted by money or women. Do you understand? So for example, like this one the protagonist of this show, he swore allegiance to the king, right? Now there was once you'll be tested. You know when you he was tested, right? So there was things that happened to him along his journey that it would have benefited him
to have done the opposite.
Yeah, but because he swore an oath, he had to keep his word, bro.
So the question is why?
But I've seen amongst our community, which is something amongst our community that it's held high.
Okay, so I say to you, why did he have the intrinsic feeling of urgency to protect that oath? Why?
Because I mean, you know why? This is why. This is why this society is messed up, bro. Because that was the currency of that age. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It wasn't money. That was it. So as a man's word, it was his currency, bro. Yeah. And if he didn't have that, bro, imagine you can't testify in court. You can't even now. Yeah. If you're found
to be corrupt,
you can't testify in court.
Not only that, but you can't be a witness.
You can't be a witness. All these things.
I've seen it firsthand.
But where is that law based in? It's based old law, bro.
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. Where cases been closed down because the person who had claimed a certain allegation is now involved in another crime. Yeah, and said, right,
you can't accept. Yeah,
gone.
So when you live in a society where your word means nothing. So if I say to you, Amir, when we started Legion together, I say together, when I joined Legion, I gave you my word that this is what we're going to do. We wrote down a contract. This was not monetary, there was no monetary gain for me or you, right? So there were certain things that I claimed, like
You propagated, you said I can do.
Yeah. And you said the same, right? Now, that doesn't, when you make when you make a verbal contract, whatever it is, yeah, it's not valid until
Proof is in the pudding, isn't it?
Does that make sense, bro? Like,
Yeah.
for example, like if
We're not asking you to validate yourself, but in times of
so
crisis,
exactly, that's when it means something.
Yeah.
Not at times of ease. Like it's when it's easy to keep your word. That's not where it matters. It matters when there's
times of calamity.
Bro. Yeah. Can I trust that person, bro?
Yeah.
And that's honestly,
so now
that is who you are as a person, as a human, not just a man.
So there's two things, right?
Yeah, go on.
Exactly that, man. There's two things. Firstly is count on your hands or count around you. Who do you deem to be your closest sources, people close to you? And they usually reflect who you are.
Yeah.
So if you're around people who are disloyal, you can't trust them, corrupted, cheaters, liars,
But
that kind of indicates that you have those qualities as well. So what I'm saying to you is,
but don't you feel like that's an extreme example? So let's go in the middle of the road.
Okay.
The middle of the road, yeah? So I know if someone's a cheater and a liar, that's extreme. Yeah. But there's we do these microaggressions that happen that we allow now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So white lies.
Yeah.
You might lie to your friend and say, yeah, but I'll be there in or you make an appointment with someone, you know you're not gonna come. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say, just because you don't want to have that confrontation with that person, right?
Yeah.
So you say, yeah. And then in your head, you already know
The answer
that I'm not going to come.
Yeah.
Like things like this. Or for example, that relationship is only one way.
Yeah.
Your friend is helping you and you're taking, but you don't really give back in that relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like those...
Or people that jump ship.
As soon as something's...
They just jump ship.
They just jump ship, bro. And now you think, take that 500 years in the past, but you'd have a very short life.
Very short life.
Because having those relationships kept you alive, bro.
Yeah.
You keeping your word kept you alive. Now, because we have peace, that's why the quality of a man's word, masculinity, has gone down, bro. For example, Ukraine, overnight, it became a war zone.
And what was
I'm pretty sure right now, they don't have time to debate about how many genders there are, bro.
Can I just say something?
They ain't got that time, bro.
What was the rule? Between 16 and 60, you're conscripted.
Yeah.
And you're
But who though?
Man.
A man, bro.
So what happened was, you not see the report about what happened to those, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a small group of transgender women who became men.
Yeah.
Who were trying to get out, and
it was the other way around.
Other way around, yeah.
Yeah.
Said you can't leave because you're actually a man. And they're like, no, we have
biologically, like on your passport.
We're keeping you here because we need you. And that was a massive thing. They're trying to get them out, and I was like, this is where you're gonna have problems, right?
But like, so that's the kind of extreme end. Yeah, there's like edge cases, but I'm talking about like middle of the road. Yeah, you're a man. Overnight, bro. Overnight, there's a war in your, like, literally, like what's happened? Russia invaded Ukraine. Like, your career is not gonna matter, bro.
Yeah.
If you're like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you defend your family, bro?
Yeah.
Because if you're a man, the first thing is coming, I want to get my family to safety. I want to get my wife and my children to safety. Yeah. And I want to sit here and protect my country. That's what they've, and we've seen the news.
Yeah.
Bro, computer programmers, doctors, dustbin men, like all of them are on the same level now, bro. Yeah. They've all picked up, Klitschko went and picked up arms, bro.
Yeah.
Who else? Usyk, what was his name? Was that other boxer? Yeah. Lomachenko. It was Lomachenko on the front lines as well. But he had a fight, innit? And then he came back. There's some tennis players. Imagine these guys are all different echelons.
Man, they've all come down.
They've all have to come down and protect their country, bro. And the value of masculinity now is...
But that's the currency now, isn't it?
Yeah, bro. That's the currency.
You have to have men to fight the battle.
Exactly, bro.
Of course, we know this.
But in times of like that famous quote, hard times create, was it?
So it was a very
strong men.
It was difficult times.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. So
yeah, you're right.
Make weak times and
weak
men make hard times. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle, and it's until you see which part of the cycle you're in. And so Ukraine is obviously an example of where war struck. Now you need strong men to stand up. What happens if you have a nation of not strong men? Russia's going to invade and take you over.
They're gonna, like, imagine it was a country of pacifists.
But they'll come and take over. They'll just come and
it's happened before in history, bro.
Well, I can believe it.
Like when the Mongols, they used to mow through. Yeah. They mowed through towns, bro, villages.
Yeah.
So imagine, like, for example, in medieval times, you got village, yeah. In between cities, right? You got village, yeah. That village, what is it? What does that consist of? You've got the farmers. They're not warriors, bro.
Yeah.
So whenever there's like some sort of scum with the whole Vikings thing, it was like they'd come, they would just mow through them, take the women as slaves, take the kids as slaves, kill all the men, take all the boot, and just go on to the next.
But I think
and that's what happened for centuries, for hundreds of years, for 500 years. I think they were in.
But this is the point I'm getting at. So why now do you need to have that narrative to destroy that characteristic that will benefit society? That if it were to go into disarray, you need that. But, so, an example, right? Let's just take it interesting to training, right?
Yeah.
Why do you train?
See, this is the next subject I want to talk to you about. So let's segue into that now. Okay. So you've got that whole masculinity thing. We're not, like I said, we're not professors of social sciences. Yeah. We're just going through about our own experiences of growing up and having children and actually training boys and men, bro. Yeah. So, who is I watched the video today. Yeah, this one made me want to talk about this specific thing. Yeah, there was a journalist or someone wrote an article, and this article was hilarious, bro. Yeah, so he was bringing up his child, his boy, as non-binary. Yeah, stuff for non-binary, but he wasn't kind of like. You know, like when you have
he's being neutral.
He's being neutral in the way he brings the child. Yeah. Brings up the child.
Not a he, not a she, not a him.
No, but it wasn't even like that. It was more like
just be comfortable.
Play with dolls or play with whatever it is.
You want, yeah.
Now this 3-year-old child decided that he really loves tractors, bro. He really loves, things
action
that we'd see as
Transformers,
whatever it is. Yeah.
Robots in disguise.
And this guy was mortified. He's like, I tried my hardest to kind of show him, and that kid
chose rightly.
But the thing is, you know what it is, bro? Like, I find it like a bit weird, bro. Yeah? Like, why have you chosen to raise your child like this? I don't understand.
And also, why did you go on social media and told the whole world?
I told the whole world about it. So in the comment section, so one woman, she was like, my husband. Or my boyfriend or whatever it is, like he's been digging a hole in our garden, for the last whatever, he's been digging tunnels under the garden or whatever, So
to escape her.
So what someone replied to, he goes, men don't go to therapy, they do things like this to get over what they're going through in their head, So for example, and this again, I'm generalizing, when a man goes through issues, we tend to either go for a run or like
buy a hamster.
I don't know about buying a hamster, bro. But do things physically to kind of get your mind off things, right? Like it could be anything. Play basketball, run. Some people like driving. They go for a drive or whatever it is. And generally, women like to talk. They sit with their friend. They might have some tea, whatever. And they're still there. They talk about all their issues. And men don't talk to each other about these things. Not.
It's not.
We don't always talk about
it.
it.
It's not commonplace to talk to everyone about it.
Yeah, you kind of do things yourself. Then when it gets to the point, you might go to that one friend that's really kind of like.
Oh, you might see one person as a counsel for you.
Yeah,
to take counsel.
So, bro, like, what do you think about? But you're not gonna sit there just keep talking about the situation, innit? Men look for solutions, women look for comfort in it in a conversation. When a man goes to the other, bro, this is happening. What do I do? And you want a solution, isn't it, bro? You're not gonna sit there just to talk about it.
But that's changed now, isn't it?
It depends, isn't it, bro? Like, yeah, this is a general.
It's a general thing, yeah.
But so what was I saying?
Sometimes I hear people talking.
So to go back,
amongst a younger, and I'm like, yeah, that's very much. I just don't feel confident that you have to deal with life issues.
Yeah, if you're gonna,
if you want to entertain a marriage, you're gonna really struggle. But the
whole thing about training now.
So why do you train?
So this is it. So, for me, when I train, like when I'm on the mat, that's all I think about. Yeah. So it's like a singular thing that you're doing, like especially in this day and age. I run my own business. I have a family. So there's a lot of things going through your head, and you're getting constantly notifications on your phone. There's that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
And being on a mat allows you to just dial down.
Kind of escapism, isn't it?
Yeah. But also when you finish, for some reason, bro, you start to create solutions for yourself, bro.
Yeah, because your serotonin levels have been dampened.
Yeah, bro. So then you kind of find solutions to the problems you've had already, innit?
Or you actually feel slightly absolved of the problems by thinking,
I don't have any control over it, bro.
Yeah, what can I do?
What can I do, man?
Just keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I think that's so. Principally for me, that's similar for me for training, because I find it like literally therapeutic, and it helps me with my mindset and it helps me with my thinking process, and it is being social with other people who have like-mindedness about training and how they want to be. But there's another article. So I was trained today with Luke and with Muhammad, and obviously Muhammad's getting back on the mat now. But I was working with Luke, and I got a little bit gassy. And I think I hurt my rib.
When you say gassy, people.
So as my engine wasn't too good. My breathing was a bit tight.
Okay, so it's
me asthma. Because of me asthma. And then my wrist, obviously, was I can't hyperextend. I can't extend or flex my wrist. So something happened, and Luke goes, "You okay, coach?" And I said, "Hey." Then I'm not going to be able to tell the person on the street, "Hey, wait a minute." Yeah. My wrist is hurting. Let me massage it. No. I said, "Luke, I've got to keep on going." Because in the back of my head, what is the reason why I'm training really is if I get in a situation, which hopefully I never have to, I can deal with myself and hopefully protect others around me. And that's my mindset about training.
But don't you think there's some certain absolutes that happen and that you have to be prepared for?
Absolutely.
If someone wants to take your life away from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, look at Ukraine overnight.
Yeah. But okay, let's stay away from the extremes, yeah? Say not take away your life, but if someone wants to step to you, they're not gonna have a conversation with you, bro.
No.
So as a man, you have to be ready for that, right?
Absolutely. And especially in our part of London, to be fair, we've seen it.
Anywhere, bro.
No, but I'm saying, especially our stabbings, gang beat-ups, we've seen it, bro, outside of our club.
But don't you think, I think also there's another element that we actually don't talk about a lot, yeah? Which is, you might be the one that wants to do the stabbing, bro. We always talk about the victim side of things, but if you're a stabby guy, bro, if you're a guy,
is that a word, stabby guy?
If you're a stabby guy, if you're a guy that has to carry a knife because you're scared, because that's why they carry.
That statement doesn't sit well with me, stabby guy. I'm discombobulated now.
But you know, like we always talk about the victims of these stabbings or like violence or whatever. So what about the people are doing the violence?
So you're thinking that this is more important that they train for that reason?
It's as important.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then you don't have that, like, you don't need. Why do people commit acts of violence, bro?
Yeah.
You have to ask that. There's some people are scared. A lot of people are scared, bro. they might have mental issues, bro. Mentally unstable. They might have family problems, and they've kept things inside, and if there was an outburst, there's so many. So being in an environment where you're being, remember one of the students that have come recently, well, let's not name him, that when he came to train, he was very, what's the word I was going to
He was unsettled.
Not unsettled, I mean overzealous in his training. Right? And
aggressive.
No, it wasn't aggressive. It wasn't aggressive. It was more overzealous. He really wanted to impress us, really wanted to impress his my brother, he just started, yeah?
Yeah.
And let's just say he hit a brick wall a couple of times. And in that overzealousness, he's hurt himself, or he's like rubbed some other students up, not the wrong way, but maybe like made them feel. But eventually what happened was he realized that I don't need to prove myself. These guys are okay with me the way I am.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And he came back to us and was like, well, you know what? Like, because I know what happened was he got handled a little bit and then he kind of calmed down a little bit and was like, right, you know what? There's levels to this, bro. I've just started training. I'm down here. So there are levels to where, and he's still young and and bless him, he's learned from his mistake. But
you can see his change already.
He's changed already. His demeanor's changed. His mentality's changed. And now who knows what effect that's going to have on the street?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So this is the thing. It's like, so yeah, we train because we want to keep ourselves even. And don't you feel like we're Muslims, we believe we're created by God, yeah? And he created us with certain natural instincts, yeah? And even if you don't believe in God, there's also biological facts, right? That
you can't deny.
You can't deny, right?
So do you just going back?
So men have testosterone, women have estrogen. What does testosterone do to you? You're an expert in this, yeah? So when a boy becomes a man, what happens to them? Testosterone makes you more aggressive, right?
Makes you more assertive.
Assertive, okay, sorry, wrong word. So what else does it do? What is the purpose of testosterone in your body?
Yeah, so it facilitates muscular hypertrophy.
What is testosterone, firstly?
Okay.
So because in case people are listening to it, I might have heard the word, but not. So what is testosterone?
Testosterone is a hormone or a messenger that tells the body in certain organs how to behave. So if you look at its activity,
is it a male hormone only?
It's a male hormone, but it's also found in women.
Right.
It's majority in men, and men also have estrogen, which is a female hormone, which is another a messenger hormone. They've all got their own basic actions that they maintain in the human body, in the human physiology. And testosterone in men, in terms of bone architectural changes, in terms of facial hairs and hairs generally on the body, in terms of sweat production, in terms of muscle hypertrophy.
Sweat production.
Yeah, so you become much more. So you become the productivity of sweat and productivity of oils in the body are an androgenic effect. So androgens are basically another term for testosterone, which means its effect on the body's physiology in terms of hair growth, voice changes, sweat production, oily skin, and like thereof. That's the man's. So that's testosterone. In men, it goes between 20 and 30. So that's the usual range. Okay?
That's the unit that they measure.
That's the parameter. Okay, between 20, whatever the units are. It's just these are the numbers to remember. In women, there's testosterone, but it's 0.02 to 0.06.
The same scale, yeah, same unit.
Same unit, but 0.0.
Wow.
So we're talking about 100 times less.
Yes.
Okay, that's number one. So number two.
So can I ask you a question? Because I need to.
But let me just explain. So women's hormone is estrogen.
Yeah.
And it has a plethora of effects in the woman. In
soft
terms of
skin, you said
soft
to me.
skin, in terms of productivity, or in terms of the ovulatory cycles, in terms of cognitive function, in terms of bone protection.
What does it do here
With the brain?
Yeah.
Actually, it's really important for cognition, for development of the way the brain patterns work. In terms of retaining information, in terms of understanding information, basically cognition per se. So men need estrogen. We have it in us as well.
Right.
It protects our bones and it protects our brains. Okay.
So what does it do for emotion?
So obviously when
For women.
Makes you cry.
Not all the time, bro.
So
Does it?
if you have a certain hormone and it's outside its parameter, it will cause an effect. So testosterone being excessive can cause an effect, or estrogen being excessive in men, say, can cause an effect. So yes, there can be, well, interesting enough, low levels of estrogen can cause certain psychosocial behaviors, and high levels of estrogen can cause certain psychosocial behaviors. So low levels of estrogen can cause you to become very irritated, upset, anxious. High levels of estrogen can cause you to become very depressed, very tearful. And that's hence why we have to keep the parameters in check.
Yeah.
Same as women. So you'll find women at certain times of the cycle, they become quite upset. So when you look at it, there's an estrogen to put another hormone called progesterone, another female hormone found in women, can be found in men as well, but mainly in women. And you look for this ratio. And when you look at the ratio, there should be a certain amount of estrogen to progesterone. When it's excessive, you get certain excessive reactions. So, get very upset, very tearful, very emotional. And so you're trying to find a unique balance, right? So, and it's amazing. Hormones in women are very, very, when I say not challenging, but very difficult to manage because you have to keep them in a certain check. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And if you look at the actual menstrual cycle, it's amazing. In terms of the hormonal changes, the physiological changes, man, there's some superior dynamic effects happening at a very subcellular level, from a messenger hormone level, from a nuclear level, that actually propagates at a physiological macroscopic level. And people are like, you don't understand that. So obviously dealing with men's health and managing men who've got low testosterone, that's what I do as well. When you're balancing those hormones, literally, if you have a little bit too much estrogen, a little bit too less estrogen, in terms of actually blockade of estrogen, or too much testosterone to convert estrogen, you can actually see the ill effects.
But can I ask you a question? The reason why I was trying to ask you this question is, fundamentally,
okay, so
what are the differences?
So let me give you an example. Right, let me give you an example. Yeah,
go on.
There's a very famous swimmer who's trying to advocate for non-gender fluidity. What's her name?
Well, recently she won.
Yeah, no, she's a very old school swimmer, British swimmer. Dame. She's a dame now. She's got very tall, broad shoulders. She had her husband's Afro-Caribbean.
Sandy. No,
man. Remember, she got
Thompson,
death threats.
something Thompson.
No, that's the runner. What's it? No. She's a 1980s swimmer, a British swimmer. She was very famous swimmer from the 90s.
I remember she's blonde. Yeah.
She has an Afro-Caribbean husband. The problem was she was getting death threats because she had a black husband. Did you remember that? So madness was going on back in the 90s.
90s?
90s, yeah.
It can't be 90s,
It was, man. I'll never forget. She was. I remember watching on TV thinking, what's going on here? They were having.
She's a pundit now as well. She does.
So she's very famous. So she was talking about
Sally
Gunno. No, that's the runner.
No. Sally.
Oh, I'm thinking of Sally Gunno, the runner.
Davison.
Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's not Davison. But...
Oh.
1 second. Sally Gunno?
No. She's a runner.
Sally Thompson, I think, or something. No.
Anyway, so she was saying, she goes, we can't deny the physiology. Do you know, because there was that thing about that man who went to the American
recently, like Leah Thompson, that's the
who's a transgender who went to the women and then he came 30th in the men's division, but when he became transgender,
he won,
came first and left all the women behind.
Yeah.
And what she was saying was, even in pugilistic sports, it's very dangerous.
What's pugilistic?
So striking arts.
Okay, right.
It's very dangerous to have a man who's been training all his life to become transgender, because it was what was it? It was 10-fold difference in striking power. Something like, and she was saying you could kill someone with that power difference.
But you know this subject is quite a hot topic.
Did this woman?
Yes.
What was her name?
Sharon Davis.
Sharon Davis. Yeah,
I knew it was an S, bro. Yeah, Sharon Davis.
So she had, she had a really long talk she done, I think, on this whole topic. And she was I was quite impressed, because she said to us like, wow. And she's
can you imagine, like, we live in a day and age where if you say, if it's saying that a man who's become a woman shouldn't be competing in women's sport. That's controversial, bro.
What she was saying, I don't know about the swimming side of things. I'm talking about from a striking point
But
of
that's
view.
if you look at it from a doping point of view.
Yeah.
Technically,
Because she actually
you've
said
been
herself.
doping your
No,
whole
no,
life.
she
If
said
you're a man,
she said herself. She said if our levels are out by 0.1, we get a 2-year ban.
but think about it. As a man, technically, if you're going to compete in a female sport, yeah, you've been doping all your life
You got your testosterone levels are ridiculous.
because your
high.
structural changes, right? Because
Yeah,
those things can't be reversed.
What you can say is you can say, okay, I castrate and I remove and I have chemical castration, whatever it is, to remove testosterone. But like you said, Mike, you can't change bone mineralization. You
what
can't change.
about frame?
That's what I'm saying to you. The whole frame,
Yeah.
the size of the
You know when you
hands.
say that's what you're trying to say to me. You speak in some terms I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
What term?
Flabbergasted. The guy, no. Sometimes the guy's talking like I'm some sort of PhD student, bro. I've never done medicine in my life. So when you say putative,
But you
bro,
have.
what the hell you're talking about?
But you
bro?
have because you take paracetamol when you have a headache.
Yeah, I do. No, but sometimes you say things like you didn't have to use that word.
Sorry, apologies.
He's used to it, innit? That's why. Bro.
It comes out at times.
No, but no. Obviously, like obviously, I understand. Wink, wink. It's for people who are listening who might not understand what you're saying.
I think the main thing is the point I'm getting at is
Yeah.
you made a point of it. If you say something like that, you're an outcast. How
Yeah.
dare you? Like, well, no, wait a minute. It's like that.
How can we not even have a conversation?
Is that
How does that work out?
Ben Shapiro? Was
Yeah,
that
Ben Shapiro.
When
Yeah.
he said something, he goes, "Well, I didn't know." He said, "I'm going to put you in the back of the ambulance, put you to the house."
Oh,
Like, and he goes, "I didn't know." So
I'll give you an example. Yeah, you know Ben Shapiro. I don't agree with everything he says.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, of course,
Like,
of course.
I don't agree with his views on
principles.
Israel, bro.
Yeah.
He's a Zionist, bro.
Yeah.
But I can agree with him on something else.
Yeah.
But right now, you can't even have a thought. You have to agree on everything, or you're gonna get cancelled, bro. This whole cancel culture, whatever. Yeah.
It's like when he stopped that guy and he goes, that woman, he goes, let me change my age. No, you can't. Why?
Oh yeah.
Why? Why can't I change my age?
Yeah.
But it's for me, it's like you're stopping people having the conversation.
Yeah.
We should be able to have that conversation.
My concern is that with this whole thing, and I tried to explain it to one of the nurses, and I said to her, look, what my worry is there's going to be a point where you can't say no. So if I said to you, look, I want to amputate my leg because I want to be identified as someone who's disabled, and I have that conversation with you, and you get me seen to by a psychiatric consultant who obviously has to pass me through it, and then I go to a surgeon's table and a surgeon's told you have to remove his leg because he's requested it.
It's absolutely crazy, bro.
I think more than that is, again, let's go back to our thing about masculinity.
Yeah. We kind of went off on a tangent, bro.
What I'm trying to say is,
but you know the question I was trying to ask you, you didn't let me finish, bro.
go on.
Yeah. The question I was going to ask you is, biologically, what does testosterone do to a man and what does estrogen do to a woman? Does that make sense? Biologically, yeah? So for a man, testosterone makes you more, for example, assertive, right? Physically, it makes you more what? What? If you took a man and a woman, if you took two beings, yeah, one had estrogen, one had testosterone, how would you know without doing a blood test? Does that make sense? You didn't know what they were.
So let's just look at it in utero.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an interesting point, right?
In utero meaning
inside the womb.
Yeah.
So there is this interesting hormone called dihydrotestosterone, DHT, which comes from testosterone. That, if it's present, so you're looking at the XX and XY chromosome, right? So XX is female, XY is male. If that is present, then there's something known as the Mullerian ducts and the Wolffian ducts. It's basically just some basic architecture inside these cells that have to have the presence of a particular hormone. And that hormone is DHT. When that's there, it would then upregulate the development of male gonads, so the scrotum, the penis, and if it's not there, we'll call the deserving of those architectures and lead to development of the female architecture. Now we know there's young girls who sometimes have got remnants of testes, yeah, and they have them removed. We know this, right? And
we don't know.
No,
told us.
But a good example, there's a group of people in, check it out, Zach. Is it Papua New Guinea or is it?
I'm just gonna use the restroom, bro. You carry on.
That's fine.
What is it?
It's known as Doce Guavas, penis at 12. Doce Guavas. It's on the BBC. Interesting story.
What is it, bro?
It means that there's these group of people in Africa. I think it's Africa, man. That they just develop penises at 12 years old. Doce Guavas. Penis at 12. Write down penis at 12, Africa, BBC.
Oh, it's the opposite way. Guavastossus.
Sorry. Dominican Republic, yeah. So these are these children that they're born like girls. Yeah.
Is it actually a genetic?
It's a real phenomenon.
Serious?
Because they found out the enzyme that causes the production of dihydrotestosterone, that comes from testosterone, is 5-alpha reductase. The reason I'm getting is because these particular cohort, they don't have the enzyme. So testosterone never converts to DHT. But what happens at 12 years old, you get this surge of testosterone, when you become puberty, right? Suddenly, they get this whopping development of a penis. Hence, the
Does it actually
becomes full blown, amazing.
Serious?
Yeah.
So what happens with, this is a question, yeah, those kids that come out with both genitalia?
So these are pseudophytes, I think they're called. Hematopseudophytes.
Do they both work?
It's a difficult one, Zach. It's really hard. You rarely see it, but it can happen. And it's quite difficult because architecturally they've got both qualities.
And do they grow to be?
No, they're usually given surgical options. The parents and the child, they speak and say, "What do you want to do? Where do you want to go with this?"
So how do you choose which one? Whatever's active.
What is maybe the most functional?
That's nuts.
The one that I don't know.
It's an anomaly, though, isn't it?
Anomaly. But I was thinking,
what's the percentage?
So we're talking about gwlpodcast, yeah, which is basically penis at 12. So these are children who were born without any male.
I did not expect to talk about this today. It's crazy. That's what I love about podcasts, bro.
No, so
sorry. Can I just interrupt for 1 second? Yeah, because I've had a lot of comments from people that listen to the podcast, and I've had a few comments. I interrupt too much. I'm working very hard to kind of not do that. Obviously, you have to understand I'm not a journalist here. I'm learning.
Sometimes you have to, innit?
Sometimes I have to keep it thing, but
steer the conversation
level. But sometimes you set out when you set up a podcast, you set out with like a subject, and sometimes you get gold, bro. Because if you allow the conversation to naturally progress, you'll get like. For example, I did not expect to talk about
penis at 12.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah, exactly.
But it's a term in the BBC, bro.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. But I'm saying that's interesting, isn't it? Like everyone's probably thinking, how the hell do we get to this conversation? But if you listen to the whole podcast, you will see the string of the conversation, how it got to this, isn't it?
So the way it got to this is because you are.
We know why. We know why. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's hilarious, bro.
I'm bringing this up because this is the most physiological gender fluidity that you would ever see. That happens due to a genetic anomaly, right? Yeah. So they're brought up as girls.
And at a specific age, they change gender. But we had a family member like this.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
in Algeria, bro.
But what I'm getting at is, do you know about this? Because
are they sterile, bro? Or can they actually have kids?
I don't even know. But possibly they can, because the gonads are there eventually, aren't they? They're
So
there.
they can actually procreate and have children. And
Possibly,
stuff like
possibly, yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked into that part, but I learned all of this from a very good friend of ours, Shazli. He's
Oh yes.
mashallah, he's very well read, and he was telling me this, and I was like, this is amazing stuff. But the reason why he bring up is because he's a senior pharmacist, and he told me because the hormone that's deficient is the same hormone they put in products for your hair. Because testosterone, take off your hat. Because testosterone can cause male pattern baldness, right?
Yeah.
Because of the production of this particular hormone.
Because we're more men than people who've got hair in it. And whilst we're on that conversation, whilst we're on that conversation, yeah. Whilst we're on that conversation, yeah.
The bald eagles landed.
Imran's a wrong one, bro.
What?
Imran's a wrong one, yeah.
Why?
I was rolling with Shamil, bro, yeah. And I had a little cut because obviously shave, yeah. I had a little cut on my head, and then like he bumped it, and then it started bleeding in it. So I had to put this little
Yamaka.
It was like this guy goes and says I had a freaking hair transplant, bro. Flipping cheap. And then I started getting ads for hair transplant.
Rumor went around, bro.
Do you want to do it, bro?
What's that? Nah, bro, that's long.
Bruv, $2,000, fam. Go Turkey, fam. Get it
I
done,
think
bro.
you know what? Because you've got the hairline, yeah, it's fine. You could actually do hair transplant
Who,
there.
me?
Yeah.
I'm balding, bro.
Yeah, but you've got the hairline.
No,
it's like when
man.
a man's trying to get the hairline done, that's a problem.
No.
You can't tell, bro.
No, me personally, bro.
Go, can you look
Gonna
down?
buzz.
Just show the customers. The clients.
The clients?
Whatever, not clients, sorry.
Bruv, but you got hair, though.
Well, you got hair. So, yeah, you're fine, bro.
Bro, you just spray paint it black, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Get some black shoe polish. Look at me, man.
So testosterone makes you lose your hair. Is that what you're saying?
So this is interesting, right? So you lose hair early because test levels are high.
Yeah.
You get conversion. It's multifactorial.
Is that why bald guys are like
Hedge.
Like
Be
they're
careful.
the epitome of?
Be careful because
Is epitome the right word?
the
Not epitome. The
pinnacle.
pinnacle of masculinity, bro.
Not really, no. Because when you get really old and you get bald, your test levels are falling down, aren't they?
No, but I'm talking about the guys
Oh,
that get bald young,
they're
like
young.
Vin Diesel,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
The
yeah.
Rock.
Family.
And who else? Yul Brenner.
No,
Oh, what's that guy?
They all got bald. Can I tell you something?
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
They all got
bro.
bald because
Muhammad Yahyawi.
no wait. They all got bald because they started taking testosterone.
Nah, bro. Not everyone, though. Not everyone.
Is that why you went bald?
Nah. Been bald for ages, blood.
So no. So the point is, it's multifactorial. It's not just to do with testosterone. There's
Yeah.
other things as well.
Yeah.
The point is, you've got something known as male pattern baldness, right?
Yeah.
So you can get that.
Are you
from
saying I've got male pattern?
You're
Hey,
too
watch
late.
your mouth.
You've gone, mate.
Watch
You've
your
gone.
mouth.
You've gone.
What's
fella.
male pattern baldness? Just when you got
Zach,
baldness
Zach,
like a ball
don't
patch?
laugh, yeah?
No,
So
but
you
like
can
you
do
got a
it.
ball patch.
There are several ways of losing hair. There's the one from the crown, from the vertex. There's one from the front.
Should we do mine? Do you want to see mine?
Yeah, go on. Yeah. So here's male pattern baldness.
There we go. Can you
You
see?
see that? Yeah.
I'm a big advocate on if you're losing hair, shave your head off.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I
there
look
soon,
like a
bro.
different person, innit? Look.
Yeah.
But I would.
Then I put my hat on.
It's like hair.
I'm a completely different guy, bro.
you
You see that, bro?
Jason Bourne, bro.
Different guy.
Can I just say I wanted to dye my hair white like Silver Fox.
Why?
I don't know. I just had this.
Silver for you, like Rogue.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Where
you
were
know,
we, bro? Where were
huh?
we?
They're like testosterone hair
Yeah,
loss.
because we need to wrap up
So
soon.
anyway, biologically, there's all these effects that it has, right? So if you said to me, if I saw a man,
He's not going to answer my question. Yeah.
you asked me
He's
biologically.
going to go to another
No, but
tangent, bro.
you said to me biologically. how
You know
does it look?
what the answer I want to get from you?
What? A man looks like a
The way
square.
men deal with things and the way women deal with things. Does that make sense? So,
Hmm.
for example, because we have testosterone, we deal with things a certain our genetic makeup. And this is like, for example,
Can I?
does that make sense, bro?
Yeah, but
That's what I'm
testosterone-
trying to say.
Yeah, but let's be careful. Testosterone is a hormone which facilitates certain things that happen. It's not that it causes you to be a man.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's part of being a man.
Right.
There's other things to do with it. So your
Yeah, I'm here
genetic
to be
code-
educated. Tell me,
Yeah,
bro.
so your
Yeah.
genetic code is what describes how your architecture is going to be. Testosterone doesn't say that your shoulder is going to be a certain width and your feet size. a certain width. Yeah. So that's all driven by genetics, and part of that is the fact that you've got an XY chromosome. Do you
And
see it?
XY
is the way Y chromosome indicates that you're a man,
yeah.
and XX is you're female.
And can you talk to us a little bit about this? Is you know what? This is probably another podcast about this, but genetics.
Yeah.
Because it's quite interesting about like sports and how genetics makes plays a huge role in it, bro.
I'll give you an example, right?
Like Michael Phelps, for example.
Yeah.
He's got his hands and his arms are unusually long. Like he's got this, I don't know, this some sort of genetic
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
What's it
probably.
called?
Ehlers-Danlos, where they got really long, spindly hands
Yes.
and legs.
But his legs are short.
Their lungs can collapse very quickly.
No way.
They're very tall. They're usually very, very
Bro,
tall.
Google Michael Phelps, bro.
Yeah, he's got an interesting physique. He's got a very good fish. He's perfect for swimming.
Perfect for swimming. Yeah.
Best swimmer's physique.
So what would you say for a grappler, physique-wise? What's like I know it's
difficult.
but you always tell me, you always say to me, for wrestling, it's good to have long arms. And,
Yeah. So, for example, like Chael Sanderson,
yeah.
Saitiev.
So do I have a wrestler's build, bro?
100%.
No, don't lie to me, bro. Seriously.
100%, man.
What about you?
I've got more of a lover's build. No, I think it's,
But it's not about
different physiques and different ways of managing it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sorry, we're interrupting you, bro.
No, I've got got a razor parked outside, mashallah.
What, outside here?
No, outside my house.
Oh, is he waiting for you?
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up?
Inshallah.
Okay, let's wrap it up, bro.
So I was gonna say was with
So I got taught a lesson today. So what I thought in my head, what testosterone does is how you approach certain situations in the sense of
it probably
it dictates how you deal with certain
give you an
situations.
example,
Does that
right?
make sense?
This is a really important point.
Yeah.
A young man who's depressed and anxious, check his test levels. Testosterone facilitates the release of dopamine, another hormone, a happy hormone that is important in certain reactions in the brain that help you to be, more assertive, more happy, more content. We talk about dopamine in terms of, getting a dopamine release and you feel better about things. So when testosterone levels are low, that release doesn't happen. As a consequence, you can get anxiety and depression. So yes, in that respect, testosterone is a facilitator. But testosterone doesn't dictate if you're going to be strong and firm and upright.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean how we deal with certain situations. For example, young men. Why is it? Because this most men die more violent deaths than women do. This is just a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, but we know about men's behavior. They're more high risk takers.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by that.
So in that respect, yes. But
whereas women are not high risk takers.
But this is what I'm saying to you. So in that respect, maybe testosterone has an effect. But in terms of dictation,
I'm simplifying it too much.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, there's a lot of genetics. There's a lot of coding, a lot of tradition, upbringing. It's multifactorial. Yes, testosterone definitely has an impact. As so does estrogen have an impact on women. But I think, there are some women you meet that they're so level-headed. They can, they're more level-headed than men.
Yeah.
Is that? But they've got.
But obviously, I'm not saying that estrogen or women are less rational.
I'm just trying to say that there's. It's not one.
And also, men can be less rational as well.
Testosterone doesn't work in silo. It's not because your test levels are this because you're going to be this way. No, it's loads of factors, man, all jam packed together.
So it's more like what type of fuel is in your car. The car's the same, depending on what you fuel your car with. Is that like that? So if you've got nitrous, for example.
No, it's more like you've got different parts and you pack them on. And the car's as it's formulated, as the car is a consequence of all the aspects of the car, not just because of the fuel. So maybe
the car's a wrong analogy.
Yeah, I don't know how to
think of.
Maybe you got a Toyota.
You got a Zoe.
So hey, don't talk about Zoe, bro.
All right. So just to kind of like not end, but like wrap up. Yeah. So we got the whole. Discussion about masculinity, what it means to be a man in this society or in society in general. And then what I want to kind of finish on is aspect of why, as a man, you should train. Does that make sense? Like, why is it important that? Because I think if you look at historically, obviously we live in a modern world, right? And we live in like a post-industrial kind of, we don't really go out and farm our own food and hunt and all this stuff. So but that's still intrinsically with us. Do you see what I'm saying? That's still, our body is still designed to kind of, chase game and shoot, kill animals to eat it and forage and all this stuff. But because food is so readily available and we live in cities and all this stuff, we tend to see that, I know as men, when you start to strip that away and you're not doing anything physical, you tend to kind of...
Well, there's a couple of things happen, isn't it? You get the... I don't talk about natural selection, but what happens is you start getting the production of, say, certain cohorts that wouldn't have existed, say, a couple of 100 years ago.
What do you mean?
So let's just use a simple example, right? I've got asthma.
Yeah. You would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't have survived.
But would you have got asthma though?
Possibly not, because
it's environmental.
Environmental, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So actually, did you listen to this thing about Joe Rogan about the guy was talking about crooked teeth? Why are humans now? Why do we have crooked teeth? Whereas if you look at skulls from hundreds of years ago, their teeth were quite straight. If you look at animals don't have crooked teeth, bro. If you look at a tiger,
snap! They don't, innit?
You'd never see like a monkey with braces, bro. It's like that.
I've seen a monkey with braces.
but he talks about why is it that. So the scientists, they brought him on. I'm not gonna kind of I'll do injustice, but he talks about like because of what we're eating, and we're not eating food that is what's the word, like
encourages.
Yeah, but some kids grow up with crooked teeth, bro. Then they have braces, so they don't eat nothing, bro.
No, but bro, like he's talking. Look again, I'm not the scientist. Don't ask me this question.
It probably has a genetic impact.
But the chewing aspect of things. What we're eating more softer foods than we did back in the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, these things, like if you took a human being that lived 1,000 years ago, what would it actually look like? And he talks about, the nose, how through like our faces have become more narrow. Yeah. Whereas before their faces used to be a bit more wider.
So they could breathe better.
Yeah, he goes up, and that's why there's a lot of breathing difficulties now that people have, like, it might be a cue.
Yeah.
So when I do this, I'm going back to my ancestors, basically, bro.
No one can see what you're doing, bro. Well, Zach's stretching his nose like this and breathing. But if you have tried that, bro.
He's putting his lips like...
No, but it works though, bro.
Of course it does.
But yeah, so he talks about all this stuff, like, things that because of our environment.
Yeah, it's impacted our health, isn't it?
Even how tall we are. We've become shorter as a species.
100%, I'm definitely shorter.
You probably brought from some warrior tribe that used to hunt like pygmy.
You didn't just go.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, like if you look at as a species in general, we're way bigger, innit?
We're giants back then.
But yeah, I guess we've got. I wanted to kind of cover a bit more other stuff, but inshallah, you definitely come in next month.
Inshallah. Yeah, 100% inshallah.
Yeah, so Amir's promised us. It's live not live, but he said he was gonna.
Live.
Come on regularly. So next month we'll pick a subject, inshallah, and then we'll cover it, inshallah. So, guys, we've come to the end of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I'm going to ask you again to subscribe and like the video, and please comment. We'd love to hear your comments, and we'd love to reply. We do get comments on Instagram that we reply to, but would prefer that you would comment on the underneath the video. If you want to come and join us and train with us at Legion Grappling Academy, if you're in East London or in London, and you want to come and
learn the best style of wrestling there is.
That's it. There you go. So come learn from
real wrestling, the All-American champion. I break the back and make them humble.
There you go.
All of them.
That's
Man
this
blew
dopamine.
out my air hole, bro.
I sorry, very much sorry.
So yeah, so if you want to come down and train with us, you're more than welcome to come. We're actually first time since the pandemic was over, we're actually giving away free trial classes now. So
That's news.
there
to
is
me.
no
I'm joking.
so there is no excuse for you not to try out the training with the Kids Academy as well. If you've got kids, we've got kids wrestling classes on and kids jiu-jitsu classes on and girls judo as well,
Jiu-jitsu.
and jiu-jitsu as well,
girls,
women's only jiu-jitsu and girls only judo. So yeah, we're happy to come to welcome you. We're and a lot of people find it very difficult, they find it very intimidating to start a combat sport, but if you're gonna start a sport, it's best to come start with us. We're very welcoming. We've got great syllabus, lovely coaches, very
Who make you eat kofta?
yeah. So what else? So we'll be happy to have you, and we look forward to see you on the mats. And from me and Dr. Amir, we'll see you on the next one.